Welcome, everybody. John Zegar. Good afternoon. 2:47, eastern slope of Colorado. It's Wednesday, the 1st. Is that right? Yeah. January, February, March, April. May 1st. May 1st. Temperatures, I don't know, 60. High 50s. Pretty good overcast. No rain, no snow. Looks like it's going to rain. But what do I know? I'm not up on that today. I had a little podcast I wanted to do today, and I'm drinking cold water today. It tastes pretty good. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the energy centers and energy healing. It's an alternative, I guess, means to treat certain things. And there's a few prominent people around that they've had some pretty good success with it, both within themselves as well as with other people. Now, energy medicine goes under a lot of different titles: energy therapy, energy healing. The one I like is vibrational medicine. I think that's a pretty good name for it, just based on what we all know. Psychic healing, spiritual medicine, spiritual healing. And what all of those talk about is that you can move energy within the body in order to obtain positive results. Now, there's one lady who's pretty active in this stuff, and she describes growing up with all kinds of illnesses. Asthma, I guess a form of MS, muscular diseases, just some horrific little diseases that can be extremely debilitating. And she went, I think she talks in terms of having gone to like 5 or so different specialists, and they all didn't have any answers, right? Western medicine never does. So she took it upon herself to heal herself. And now she is much older. I don't know. I don't know her age, maybe middle-aged or something like that, and appears to be in really good, sound physical and mental health. And she claims to have done that by working with the energy within her body. Okay? So the thing that we know is that there's 1, 2, 3 lower energy centers in our body. And then we get into our heart, right? And then our throat. And then up into our head and all the way to the crown chakra, as they call it. They're either identified as chakras or energy centers. It depends what school of thought you come from. But what they basically do is regulate and balance energy within that given system. Right? So let me see if I can kind of attach something else to this. I'm not a scientist, so I'm trying to interpret this in a manner that somewhat makes sense to me with my background in psychology for 43 years and neuroscience an additional 10. So I am not an expert at this. But our bodies are comprised of an electromagnetic field of sorts. We have a positive and a negative. We have electrical current running through our body. And inside of our body, we have systems or circuits. Okay? And they're like, they're closed-ended circuits with electrical charge that includes certain systems, cardiovascular system, digestive system, things of that nature. And each circuit has different systems. And our energy centers, I'm going to refer to the chakras as energy centers. That's just how I identify them, I guess. And there's people that there's actually new treatment going on now, adjunctive treatment, that is seeming to be pretty successful, to where people can go in and find out where the electrical charge is low, in which circuit, and which energy centers, and specifically which systems of the body are having difficulty. And they have devices that are non-invasive that can just get near you and identify the energy level in each circuit and determine which one, may be low or not. And then they have an instrument that is non-invasive that can go back and, once identifying the particular circuit, they can recharge that energy system or circuit. And in some cases, it's proven to be successful in treating illness. Okay? Now, the way I understand things and how I identify and treat this stuff is probably pretty routine. And there are people that do this daily, and they are highly competent. I have some basic information about it, but I am not a skilled practitioner in doing this. But the way I look at it is that you have these energy centers, right, in your body. And they sometimes go out of whack. So your electromagnetic field breaks down. And when it breaks down, the communication breaks down with your nervous system. Everybody follow that? Okay. So one of the ways that can happen is that, we live, 70% of people live in stress every day, right? So we're living in survival, so to speak. And it's pretty hard to become creative at that point because all of your energy is going to the extremities, so to speak, in order to survive. And in order to get the energy back into our core so that we can become more creative, we need to balance. We need to balance that electromagnetic energy field, right? So that it's communicating in a balanced way with our nervous system. Okay? So the treatment procedure can, and again, there's a multitude of different kinds of treatment available in this field because there's so many people that have just, jumped on the bandwagon and they've gone off on spiritual healing and spiritual medicine, psychic healing. They've identified ways and means that they understand and that they can use to treat people and feel like they get some result from it, positive result, although there's no scientific evidence that it really works. The one I'm kind of most interested in, which is partly to do with what we talk about every day here in neuroscience, is the vibrational medicine. So each energy center has a vibration, right? And each energy center has an electrical charge to some degree, and of course has an equivalent of energy within that particular center. And all of that stuff is supposed to be balanced, in harmony, congruent, just like we want to have the heart communicating with the brain in coherence. We want to have our energy centers in congruence with the vibration, the electrical amount, and the energy in relation to the electromagnetic energy field of our whole body. So it's really pretty simple. We're just looking for balance in all of these energy centers, right? So that they can communicate amongst each other. Just like the heart, we want to have communicate with the brain. And we want the balance to have coherence, harmony amongst all the other energy centers in the body. Follow me so far? Pretty simple. Pretty good explanation, actually. Here's what happens. And I'm not a scientist and I'm not a doctor. So what I'm reporting is my research and readings and investigating and, just everything I can find to support, this theory. And the theory kind of goes that when the energy in the energy centers drops down, becomes lower than it's supposed to, the electrical charge, so to speak, also lowers, Okay? Communication breaks down, right? And coherence breaks down. And you're left with, I'm going to say, illness, sickness, disease, trauma, that sort of thing. Your immune system might start breaking down, becoming weaker, not as strong, making you more vulnerable to sickness and ill health, right? Again, pretty easy to understand, pretty easy to follow. So I'm intrigued with this, and I'd kind of like to do some additional research in this area and talk about how do we take this energy medicine. And again, that's just a generic, a generic title to what we're talking about. Because, people are calling it so many different things. Energy medicine, therapy, healing, blah, 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 blah. I guess what I'm wanting to do is maybe identify it as energy vibrational medicine / healing. So here's what I think. And this is, again, not me. I'm giving you from a variety of sources that I research and what they think, and they have statistics to back up, and it seems fairly reliable. I think they even talk in terms of its science. Science is the kind of thing that if you can do it once, you can do it twice, 3 times, and you get the same result. So if we go and use the modality that we've been using for, ever and ever and ever, which is meditation, right? And there's all kinds of different meditations, maybe for different reasons and different illnesses and different healings and this, that, and the other thing. But the one that stands out is the meditation for the energy centers, right? And Dr. Joe, by all means, go and purchase his meditation. You can go to his website and purchase that meditation, which is excellent. I actually believe I only have the first one. The Healing of the Energy Centers 1. And I guess there's a number 2 and a 3. And I might have heard that there's even a 4th one out there. But it's progressive, right, you guys? It's progressive. It's progressive in the sense that as you get better and more able to do this meditation of the energy centers, you graduate and go on to the next level. So by all means, get the first one anyway. It's, 43 minutes or something like that. And there's a 31-minute introduction that Dr. Joe does. It's very good and very well done. Now, there's other meditations on YouTube that some of them seem very good. But here's the point. All they're trying to do is balance the energy centers. So they go through each energy center, identify it, talk about its purpose, its higher purpose, right? And the idea is to have the coherence, right? The balance, the vibration, the electrical charge, and the energy all working together for a greater good and able to communicate with all the other energy centers in your body. Very simple. Very simple. Assuming, and again, not everybody has imbalance in their energy centers, right? Of course not. There are a lot of people on the planet that do have imbalance in their energy centers, and they have a disease or a sickness or an ill health or some emotional issues or who knows what. And by being able to balance the energy centers so that the things I just talked about, the coherence, you know, the vibrational level, the electrical charge, the energy, all of those kinds of things become balanced out, and communication can occur from one energy center to another. As you know, now everything's in coherence, right? And when all those levels go up and are in coherence, the likelihood of having illness or disease becomes nil. There are case studies, you can go read them on the internet as well as I can, that seem to document that by treating illness or sickness in this manner may have a positive effect on your physical and emotional health and well-being. Pretty cool, huh? Now, it gets into more detail than what I just did. I mean, what I did is just a thumbnail of this whole process. I'd like to ask that for those of you that are listening, if you have something going on that may not be real favorable in your body, to do some research on this. And I'm going to come up with another podcast. I actually already have a couple different ideas on specific things that you can do to start practicing, energy medicine, so to speak, or vibrational medicine. And I think we'd want to continue this conversation a little bit further. So, anyway, hope you guys have a good rest of the day. Take care of one another. God bless you all. And I'll look forward to talking to you all again real soon. Thanks. See you. Bye.